Welcome to my 15th class, and this is the fourth class on frictional forces. So we'll continue from where we left off in our last class. So we basically discussed the motion of a body along an inclined plane. So if this was m, we proved that there are two components. This is a quick recap. This is mg sine theta, and this is mu mg cos theta, and we found out that mu will be equal to tan theta. For those of you who have not seen my last class, I suggest you please go to it so that you'll understand how we derived this. Now you must understand, like I mentioned previously, in science we have this habit of giving names for everything. So if you say this theta at which the mass starts sliding downwards is called the angle of repose. So this is the technical name for it. I want you to understand this because if at all you come across this word somewhere, you will know what this basically means. And of course, I'm not getting into how we derived mu is equal to tan theta. For that, please go back to my last class. Now, taking it further from here, I mentioned during the close of the last class that we'll discuss something about free body diagrams. So let's take I'm just writing the short form free body diagram, FBD. So let's understand what a free body diagram is. So if this is a surface, let's assume for now it's a frictionless surface, and let's say we have a body of mass m here, and we also have, so we call it as m1, right? And let's assume we have another body which is touching this body, and this is mass m2, and let us say we are applying a force F here. For now, this surface is frictionless. I'm just trying to explain the concept of a free body diagram. So let's work with a simple example here. Now, so of course, you have an mg acting m1g acting downwards. You have an m2g acting downwards. You have a normal 1 and you have a normal 2. Now, if you see, these are all balanced forces. So all the this is also balanced. So we really don't have any we don't have any unbalanced force on the vertical axis. So we are not going to really bother about it. Let's look at what is happening to the along the horizontal surface. So now this is where I'll introduce you how a free body diagram is drawn. So now if you see in a free body diagram, what we do is we try to isolate each body. For example, I'll isolate m1, and then I'll isolate m2, and then redraw the forces that are acting on them. So let's try and do this. Now in the case of m1, let me try it here. So if this is your m1, let's draw it in the same size. Yeah, so this is m1. So what are the forces acting? One is your F, which is your external force that you're applying. Now when you apply an external force, obviously at this surface, this m1 will have a resisting force created by m2. So we can call that there is some force resisting the movement of m1, and we can call that as R, where R stands for a reactive force. So we can mention this as R here. It is a reactive force. And of course, what will happen is when you are applying a force here, this whole system will be moving in a forward direction with an acceleration of a. We can assume it as a. This whole system will be moving forward with an acceleration of a. Remember, this is frictionless, so the slightest of the force will move both m1 and m2. But however, please note that at this point in the middle, there is a reactive force applied, which is resisting the movement. So m2 is applying a resistive force which is trying to resist the movement of m1. So let's call that as R. And so you have one force here and you have a resisting force. And of course, what is happening? The whole system is moving in the forward direction. Fair enough? And that will be nothing but A. So this A here and this A here will be the same because the whole system is moving with A, right? So this is your free body diagram number 1. Let's draw the free body diagram. Let's draw the second free body diagram here. Now I'll draw it here so that both are visible to you. Now we have obviously our second mass, which is a slightly bigger mass, M2. And if you notice, I have not drawn the floor here because that is not necessary, because we are drawing a free body diagram. So okay, now what is happening to M2? So M2, obviously, if you see here, while there is a reactive force here, obviously there is also a reactive force that is acting in the opposite direction, right? Because whatever force reaction is coming from here, the same force has to come from this direction also. Fair enough? So this you will have a R in this direction. If this is confusing you, it is very similar to our body which is on the ground. So when you have mg acting upwards, you will have a normal reaction acting downwards. So all forces acting in the corner will be opposite to each other. So if there is an R acting along acting from the right to the left side, you will have a force of same magnitude acting from the left side to the right side, that is trying to push M2 towards the right hand side. Yes, so this is the only force that is acting, right? And what this force is doing, it is accelerating this mass forward with an acceleration of A. So if you see, we have drawn two free body diagrams. One is this, and this is your second free body diagram. Now once we have this, it's easy for us to do the equations. Let's now draw the equations. So obviously it's very clear here that force minus the reactive force will be equal to m1a, right? Because this body is moving forward with an acceleration of a, so we are applying a force forward, reactive force is trying to resist it. Net effect is the body is moving forward with an acceleration of a. So this is our first equation. Now what will be our second equation? This is it. So the only force that is acting is R, and that is making the body move forward with an acceleration of A. So obviously R will be equal to m2a. This is your second equation. I hope you have no doubts about this. Fair enough? Now what we can do is, you see, if we substitute the values here, you see, now suppose we have to find out the value of let's say the value of A. So I can substitute the value of R here. So what this equation will become, it will become F minus M2A will be equal to M1A, and this will be equal to, so force will be equal to M1A plus M2A. Fair enough? So if we take out acceleration common, we will get M1 plus M2. So this is the net force and equation for the force, and therefore if you want to find out the acceleration, it will be nothing but F is equal to M1 plus M2. So it's very clear, right? So now, and this is consistent. So M1 plus M2 is nothing but the total mass of the body, total mass of the system, right? So very straightforward. So if I have to give you another example, if I have to just take a single body of mass m, and we are applying a force F here, and if this is moving forward with an acceleration of A, what happens? And there is no resisting force, obviously F will be equal to ma. We learnt it in our Newtonian mechanics in our earlier class. Therefore A will be equal to F by m. right? So since there is only one m, we have single m here, but in this case we have m1 plus m2. So it's not a very difficult concept to understand. What we can do is, I can actually now extend this same example by taking one body and demonstrating what will happen if there is a frictional force now. So let's understand this. Now let's try to derive this with a frictional force. This is much better. Okay, now so let us take this as mass m, right? And let us assume the frictional force between them is mu. And let us say again I'm applying a force F along the horizontal direction. And what is the maximum frictional force? We know the maximum frictional force F mu will be equal to mu n, and n is nothing but your mg, right? So it will be mu mg. So this is your maximum frictional force. And so let's now go ahead and okay, and this body will definitely will move forward with an acceleration of a because of the force we are applying here. So now let us isolate this body and draw the free body diagram. Okay, so this is the body m acted upon by F. This moves forward with a direction with an acceleration of a, and what is the force that is resisting it? That is nothing but mu mg, right? That is a frictional force, right? It is this one. So are there any other forces? We are not bothering about the vertical component because they anyway cancel out. N will cancel out with mg. So that's all we have here. So let's equate this now. So F minus mu mg will be equal to mass into acceleration. That is a net acceleration forward. Very straightforward, right? Now if you want to find out at what acceleration will the body move, so acceleration will be equal to F minus mu mg by m. That's it, as simple as it is, no confusion, right? Or this can also be written as F minus this can also be written as F by m minus mu g. So you get the idea here. So a free body diagram is nothing but a process where we isolate the body from all its elements and just analyze the forces. So what I want you to do is, please understand this the concept of a free body diagram, and we'll discuss few more problems in our next class. So I'll see you then. Thank you.